I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk about Jackie Robinson's effect on the Negro Leagues and Major League Baseball. Without a doubt, Jackie Robinson has been credited, as rightfully he should be. In 1947, that was the year that Jackie Robinson integrated and broke the color line, so to speak, in Major League Baseball. In separate videos, you're going to hear from Jackie Robinson in his own words. A couple years ago, they made a movie called 42 depicting Jackie Robinson, but really the movie didn't do Jackie Robinson the type of justice that he deserved. I read the Jackie Robinson's autobiography. I also read several biographies pertaining to Jackie Robinson, and I want to tell you that the movie couldn't touch the biographies or the autobiographies. Now, this particular video that I'm about to show you, credit must be given to the Bleacher Report and YouTube. I want you to listen to this here. I found this earlier today doing my research, so check it out. Commercial will pop up. I'll try my best to get rid of the commercial right away. All right.
No flex.
See what I mean? Sorry, y'all.
Flex. They know better.
I guess I gotta. We'll give her this commercial. Not giving anybody no free advertisement. That's right. No free advertisement. If you want advertisement, you gotta pay for it. All right, here we go.
I get the question all the time, wasn't it wonderful in 1947 Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier, opens up Major League Baseball to everyone? My answer has to be no, it wasn't. It was actually more difficult for African American ball players.
Many talented black players got phased out.
Racism ended my professional career.
The primary reason for the end of the Negro Leagues is integration.
What we saw with the Negro Leagues, and particularly those Negro League teams that were in close proximity to Major League teams, they died in almost instant death because that black fan base left to go see Jackie, to go see Larry Doby.
We're trying to get to the major leagues, and once that was an option, these segregated teams and leagues were abandoned completely.
In the 50s, the Indianapolis Clowns dropped out of the Negro American League.
Now all the great players, they've been signed to Major League.
Folks that owned the teams and that were very smart individuals. They knew baseball, but they also knew business.
Sid Pollard, Abe Saperstein, who both had business interests in the Harlem Globetrotters, hired women to play for the Indianapolis Clowns.
Surprising that I see women playing in the Negro Leagues. They could play.
Toni Stone was the first woman to play for the Indianapolis Clowns.
She's followed by Mamie Peanut Johnson and Connie Morgan, who competed against the men in the 1950s.
Was it a promotional gimmick? Yes. Was it successful? Yes.
They were trying to get people to the ballparks, and at the same time, they're selling their best players to the major leagues, trying to fill the role of all these lost ball players, and it really doesn't work. And if it did work for some teams, it only worked maybe 4 or 5 years.
Unfortunately, just because Jackie Robinson integrated baseball, that didn't change the fact that it was going to be very difficult for young black ball players.
Your heart knows what it wants. So do your taste buds.
Let's get rid of this commercial real quick, and we'll continue with the Jackie Robinson's effect on the Negro Leagues and Major League Baseball. All right, here we go. We're back.
Somebody out there know the answer. Why is it at that time they were drafting black men to go fight and die for this country, but they didn't want us to play baseball for this country? Black men helped build this country.
History isn't always necessarily pretty, and it's not always as glamorous as people would like it to be. There were a lot of guys that never got the opportunity to go beyond minor league baseball.
There's no question that there was a quota system in place when that first group of black players transitioned into the major leagues?
I had the fortune of knowing a gentleman by the name of Bobby Bragan. Bobby was the manager for the Pittsburgh Pirates at the time. He was very honest with me. He said, we had a quota system back in those days. You couldn't have more than 4 black ball players from your team. End of story. And that was pushing it.
I wanted to make it to the major league. I thought I was going to make it with my speed and hitting because I could hit.
1950s, Jake gets signed by the Brooklyn Dodgers organization. They send him to minor league training camp. He has a phenomenal training camp. Leading hitter on the team, starting outfielder. They make the cuts for the season. Jake's one of the first ones that get cut. Why do you cut the best baseball player on your team?
That's what hurt me so bad when they cut me for a white kid batting 264 and I'm batting cleanup.
I was serious about the game, but it's one of those things.
Pedro played everywhere you can play professional baseball. He played in the Negro Leagues, he played in minor league baseball, he played in Canada, he played in Dominican Republic, he played in Mexico.
I don't have any regrets of what happened. I think to myself, that I could have played, and those who played around me knew that I could.
When I got in professional baseball, I didn't realize just how bad racism was.
Ernest got to play in the St. Louis Cardinals organization.
The next year, I was traded to the Kansas City A's. That's when racism set in. My own teammates, they didn't even want me to sit on the bench with them. Now, the people in the stand, I could take that and keep walking. But my own teammates, it bothered me because I felt that baseball was for everybody. They figured I'll get discouraged and quit. But I showed them I could play anywhere on a baseball field. So what they started doing, they would make up excuses to make sure no other team signed you. They said, you play your music too loud. Man, I wasn't making enough money to buy a stereo or radio.
If America truly appreciated the greatest athletes, there wouldn't have been a Negro League. There wouldn't have been an all-white major league. And then we would have truly seen the greatest baseball players of all time. Those aren't the truly greatest numbers because they didn't include the truly greatest players.
It has been said, oh, we don't have the stats. But I found scorebooks. I found in some of the black newspapers, they kept the score in a tally.
Since 1947, think of all the records that have fallen related to African-American baseball players. That didn't have to start in 1947. It could have started in 1907. It could have started in 1887. So baseball history would be changed, but we will never know how much.
But this story, the crux of it, looks at a story that is about the importance of economic empowerment. It is a story about an unprecedented level of leadership that emerged as a result of the formation of these leagues.
Black coaches, black owners, black executives, they were done once the Negro Leagues died, and we don't hear about them. What would it mean if black kids didn't just want to be the next Satchel Paige or Josh Gibson, but they wanted to be the next Gus Greenlee or the next Effa Manley?
One of the things I would like to see happen is that it would be in schools because the Negro League accomplished a lot of things other than just baseball. The Negro League made not only black history, American history.
And all of that is wrapped around this amazing story of these very courageous athletes who, as I like to say, forged a glorious history in the midst of an inglorious time in American history to play the game they love.
We don't want people to forget about Josh Gibson. And not only just Josh Gibson, I don't want people to forget about the Negro Leagues. So what we're trying to do is keep his legacy alive is through the Josh Gibson Foundation. It's making sure that the youth is educated on the Negro Leagues as well as making sure they get the right education to further their education. So we have a Josh Gibson scholarships. We have a Josh Gibson curriculum. It teaches kids the business side of sports, sports media, sports law, sports marketing, sports sales.
When we built the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum 30 years ago, We knew then that it was literally a race against time, that those who had created this history, it wasn't a matter of if, it was simply a matter of when we were going to lose them. And that it was so vitally important that their story and their legacy would play on long after there were no Negro League players to attest to the greatness of these leagues.
A lot of the researchers are getting older like myself. You know, I'm 70 years old, and it's tremendously gratifying to me that there's someone there to carry on this legacy.
As we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Negro Leagues, Major League Baseball has made a commitment to also honor the Negro Leagues. Back in August, they all wore their centennial patch. There's been several Major League Baseball teams who recognize the Negro League baseball players. Milwaukee Brewers has celebrated the Negro Leagues, Pittsburgh Pirates, Atlanta Braves, Kansas City Royals, Chicago White Sox, Detroit Tigers, by either bringing some of these players back to honor them or just having some kind of exhibit to showcase their fans.
Right now, I'm trying to get young kids back interested in baseball. I coach the league team. I talk to kids.
What the Negro Leagues teaches us is quite simple. In this country of ours, if you dare to dream and you believe in yourself, you can do or be anything you want to be.
And if we were able to accomplish what we were able to accomplish in 1920 with far less resources, what are we capable of now? I think the legacy, honestly, is that we are more powerful than we know.
They had no idea that they were making history. They didn't care about making history. They just wanted to play ball.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Tyrone Bowman tonight. Someone asked me a question and I'm going to answer it. Quote, what are you doing? Close quote. It's just as simple. I'm tired of hearing and talking about one person in particular, Donald Trump. There's more going on in the world outside of Donald Trump, and you're graciously welcome. So I'm going to be talking about things that can make a difference in people's lives, because at the end of the day, all these politicians, they're all friends together, and they're laughing at us. So, till the next video, I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender, never quit.